Hi, my name's Phizzy and I want to be your professor of fun.
I was just a regular boring guy until I stumbled upon the Wikipedia article on the heat death of the universe. Spoiler alert, everyone and everything is gonna die.
Ever since, it's become my personal mission to become an expert in the art and science of having fun.
I've seen the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, danced a legal rave, and watched a sex orgy on the internet. So please join me on my continuing quest to understand the nature of having fun and where to find it.
So what is birdwatching? I was a little unsure myself, so I turned to the internet and discovered a Japanese birdwatching website. As I'm not fluent in Squiggly, I turned to Babelfish for a translation. In broad sense, it includes including making bait, waterfield, and sandbox in the garden enjoying wildlife birds. Humans will enjoy finding their appearance and record their actions. Wow, okay. It is also called a bird. Wildlife birds are everywhere. They may bathe in forests, fields of vegetable, and shores of sea. Many birds, such like a puffin, puffin, congest on cliffs to create puffins of small measurement and store them in twig baskets. May your hovercraft be full of eels, and may your bird peeping to nurture tiny knowledge seeds into large jungles of knowing. Concise stuff. So, the second piece of literature I'll be using to enhance my experience of bird watching is this guidebook on exotic birds. There. And it'd be incredibly handy for identifying the birds that we shall see. It did also have an introduction, but I think the Japanese website has that suitably covered. So, what other lessons do we need to learn? Yes. Fashion. It can be an effective tool to hide our most deepest inner insecurities. Now, according to some studies, men attired in expensive suits and expensive jewellery are usually trying to overcompensate for something. For example, a dislikable personality, a lack of artistic talent, or the size of one's muscle of love. A telltale sign if this man suffers from this insecurity is if they've strategically placed a carrot within their groinal region. So, with all that in mind, what do you want to tell the birds about yourself when it comes to deciding what to wear? The stereotypical look one may conjure up when thinking of a bird watcher would be that reminiscent of an English country gentleman. However, I think such an outfit choice is actually a really terrible idea. You're essentially telling the bird that I may not have brought my automatic F3 Blazer shotgun this time, but it should be noted that I now know where you live. As we like to avoid shooting the birds with a double automatic F3 Blazer shotgun today, I've opted for this outfit. The creme de la creme, my tout ensemble, being these vintage Adidas Tech Rocket fleece pants. These vintage Adidas Rocket Tech fleece pants are perfect for my birdwatching fun today. Not only do they come with ample pocket room for my birdwatching guidebook, but they also come with the classic Adidas Action stripes. Furthermore, the pants are clinically designed to afford maximum maneuverability and agility within the pelvic region. Did you know that the pterodactyl had a wingspan of 30 feet? That's the equivalent of 2 Dolphlungrens, another 2 Dolphlungrens, with the first Dolphlungren holding a Dolphlungren right leg aloft in the air, while the fourth Dolphlungren holds a Dolphlungren left arm in the air. In other words, about half the length of a 10-pin bowling lane. Also, all the pterodactyls are now dead. Exciting news. I've invited my mate Dave round to help with this production. He is a genuine expert in the art and science of having fun, while I'm just a novice really, and he's going to offer a lot of pizzazz to this production. So I'm just going to give him a call to find out where he is.
You can't. He's got rid of his phone. He said he needs to go off grid for a while until it all blows over.
Until what blows over?
I don't know, he just kept referring to it as it.
Okay then, here's some interesting bird facts until we find out where he is.
Pigeons are the worst bird. They have slow reflexes, eat our food, their bird barks are just one end away from becoming a racist taunt, and have been known to transport messages for terrorists. They also are just a general nuisance.
So while we wait for Dave, I thought in the meantime it'd be important to learn how to bark like a bird.
Page 161, black-capped chickadee.
At 161, Carolina chickadee. Page 164, white-breasted nuthatch.
You're not a bird. I'm a bird.
You're not a bird. I'm a bird. Dave's here. You brought some food?
No.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Yeah. It's nice to see you. So this is my mate Dave. He's great, isn't he? So Dave, what can you tell us about your birdwatching experience?
I fed the ducks last Wednesday.
Okay, which ducks were those?
The ones by the pond.
Your pond?
No, not my pond. I'd rather not talk about it.
Whose pond, Dave? Whose pond, Dave? Absolutely. So, we're about to go bird watching, the moment you've been waiting for. So we had visually ensnared our first bird. The bad news is that we had absolutely no idea of what type of bird it was, as we could not identify it from the Exotic Birds Guidebook. The good news is that the Royal Society of Birds has a bird identification hotline for such a scenario. So we gave them a call to find out exactly who the little rascal was. The further bad news was that it put me on hold for a while, which made my mood sour into a hangry rage. Do you know how many types of hummingbird are in here? You've got a ruby-throated hummingbird, rufous hummingbird, marvellous spatula hummingbird. I mean, this really isn't helping. Like, you guys are incompetent. Your organisation is full of nonsense. What type of nonce are you? Can you help me identify what type of nonce you are? What? Are you a red-billed nonce? Himalayan snowcock nonce? Maybe a limpet-faced nonce? What about a crab-tail nonce? Or what about a periodontal nonce? So the idea is called the RSB identification hotline did not go massively to plan. Things got a bit aggressive, mainly on their part. However, my mate Dave, how's life, Dave?
I'm not very good at it.
Okay, you think that we saw a magpie, didn't you? How could you tell it was a magpie, and what type of magpie was it?
Standard one.
Okay, well, was it male or female?
Male.
And how could you discern that it was male?
Or female.
Okay, so Dave actually has quite a lot of experience in bird watching. So what's your favourite bird, Dave?
That'd probably be the great grey shrike.
Yeah, I've heard of that, yeah.
It lures songbirds into its lair by mimicking their calls, and then hammers them to death on the nearest barbed wire fence or thorn bush. They, during mating season, line their territory with the carcasses of songbirds in order to ward off other males and attract female hens.
Holy sh**. Okay, so did you have bird watching fun today, Dave?
No.
Me too! And I hope you YouTubers had a lot of fun today as well. And I hope you've nurtured tiny knowledge seeds into large jungles of knowing. So thanks.